It's a balls and strikes call, literally, as we've got a World Series champion kind of going toe-to-toe with our current series champion. We'll catch up on all that drama. Plus, we've got some really cool paint schemes. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a Casey Kane sighting again this weekend. We'll tell you where. Hi, everyone. Welcome to NASCAR Daily on a Wednesday. Shannon Spake. Okay, it's what everyone's talking about. 8-time All-Star Chipper Jones. He takes to social media, to X, to talk about the drama that went down between Cindric and Joey Logano this past weekend at Talladega. I was a little surprised. Maybe I missed something. I didn't realize Chipper Jones was such a big NASCAR fan. It was a little surprising to me when I saw these headlines kind of come across the wire. But it is what everyone's talking about, and it's certainly getting juicy. Here we go. We'll tell you all about it right now. Congrats to Cindric on his Talladega win. Good teammates are hard to come by, boss. Remember that one of your MF'd you on national TV when in all actuality, you did everything possible to keep from wrecking him. Hate to be deuces in the team meeting on Monday. Some people are hooray for our team as long as I'm the star, as every team has them. Hendrick, RCR, JGR, Penske, etc. Sometimes karma is glorious. Enjoy this one. In case anyone is confused, let me be clear. Joey Logano, shots fired, literally. I was shocked to see this, first of all, because I didn't realize that Chipper Jones was such a big NASCAR fan. I think it's very cool that he's watching our sport. So Joey was asked about this, and I'm going to let you hear what Mr. Logano had to say.
So I'm surprised that a professional athlete would act in that manner because he's been through it, right? Like I say it all the time, I am very careful to form an opinion on an athlete by their emotions or the way they play the game, because I know from being in that position, when there's that much on the line in a competitive environment, you act a certain way because you're out there to win, right? And you got to be able to shut that off. I would have assumed, him being the athlete that he is and was, that he would understand that and not mouth off on social media like somebody that's never played the sport before or a sport. It's surprising to me. All I can think is just trying to be relevant still or something like that. I don't really know exactly why. Like I said, I've never met him. I don't have a reason to dislike him outside of now. But
all right, first let me say this. Joey Logano has received much worse criticism during his career than this. And one of the things I love about Joey Logano is I just feel like he completely lives in his skin. If you don't know what that means, I just think he knows who he is. He does a great job responding to some of this stuff, and he stands by his actions, his comments, and all of those things. Joey Logano knows who Joey Logano is. So when I worked at ESPN back from 2007 to 2013, we did this thing called News of the Day for SportsCenter. It was called NOD. We called it NOD for short. And if I had $1 for every time I had to do a story on, are there teammates in NASCAR, I'd be able to buy myself a very expensive steak dinner, because this was something that we talked about all the time. Are there teammates in NASCAR? Yes, the word teammate, which is one that Chipper Jones used here in this tweet, the word teammate, yes, they are teammates, are on the same team. And I will always go back to something that Jeff Burton said when I asked him this question back in, 2008, 2009. And he said, it's not necessarily teammates. We're more like business partners. And I will always remember that he said that, because I think that totally explains what the NASCAR dynamic is inside those teams. And if you're a business partner with someone and they don't live up to their part of the business deal, as Joey Logano thought Cindric did in that moment, I think you have every right to get upset. Now, he gets upset on the radio, and we hear it because we have access to it, which is something that we don't have in other sports, right? Chipper Jones, we don't know what he's saying to his teammates out there on the mound in the game. We don't know what any other athletes are saying, and we can hear that in NASCAR, which is a huge luxury. In the moment, that's how Joey responded. Now, we had Austin on the show on Monday. Now, Austin told me, he's like, I don't put much stock into those words, because we've done so many great things for each other and with each other as teammates, and it was emotion. So that's what Austin said. Here's what I will say about, like, sort of, I think people like looking at your family, your friends, your team, and making comments about what's going on there. I if someone came into my house and told me how I should talk to my family members, how I should talk to my friends, I think I would take I think I would be like, "Hey, you know what? Listen, this is my relationship with them. We don't know how Austin Cindric and Joey Logano operate behind closed doors. We don't know how deep their friendship is. We don't know how they um, talk to each other, work things out, handle things. And this could make them stronger. And maybe Joey needed to say these things. Maybe Austin needed to hear those things because now Austin will be able to tell Joey how he feels. Opens a door for conversation. Now, listen, was it loud and was it using harsh words? It's hard to hear. Yeah. But sometimes that's how people talk, and sometimes that's what needs to be done. And again, I will go back to what Jeff Burton said. It's not necessarily a teammate thing in NASCAR. It is a business partner thing in NASCAR. And at the end of the day, they're trying to win. They're trying to win races. They're trying to win stages. That did not happen in the race, and Joey Logano reacted the way he did. All right. So from talking trash to taking out the trash. That's a great transition, by the way. Pat myself on the back. Talladega Superspeedway. So I love these tweets. So if you ever, Indianapolis 500 does this as well. It's kind of like what's left behind after the Indy 500. Talladega does it. We all know Talladega is a huge party. The infield, Talladega Boulevard, anything goes. We know. If you haven't been there, to maybe take a trip there sometime, leave the kids at home. But Talladega, there is a Left Behind series on X. Take a look at some of the things that were left behind on X. I had to do this one because this is like legitimately like somebody's entire living room furniture. And it's just right there. I mean, that's the party I needed to be at right there. It looks very, very comfy. And you got the porta potty right there, which is perfect. So you don't have to move far from your pleather couch and of course the garbage cans. We also have this one. This is definitely the way to go because you don't have to walk far if you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Maybe get some nose plugs for the overnight hours, but this is genius. Very, very creative right here and very smart. And then of course we've got this. We've got a grill. Hey, I might go pick that grill up. I love the trash cans, by the way. I think that's so cool. And we've got food. Like, listen, you ready to go eat? It's there on a Monday morning. Talladega, ready to feed you. There are some really cool things if you want to go take a look at their X feed. It's really funny. And I will tell this story. So one time, Marty Smith and I, our very first year, 2007, we were leaving Daytona after the Daytona 500. We're walking to our cars, and here comes a guy pushing his buddy in a wheelbarrow. Like legitimately pushing him in a wheelbarrow. And he looks at Marty and I and he goes, "Hey, where's Speedway Boulevard?" And Marty and I are like, "What are you going to do when you get to Speedway Boulevard?" Like pushing your buddy in the wheelbarrow. If you ever see Marty Smith, ask him about that story. It is a true story. We got a picture. I couldn't find it, but it was perfectly classic. So I know that a lot of stuff gets left behind. Hopefully that guy didn't leave his buddy. Okay, let's take a look at some of the paint schemes that you're going to see on the racetrack both this weekend and, of course, upcoming. So first, let's start with Christopher Bell. He's actually pulling double duty literally this weekend with the paint scheme and with racing. He's going to be in the high limits race on Thursday night at the dirt track, and that's his car up on top. And then, of course, his Sunday race car. They're going to look very similar, which I think is very cool. Love that C Bell. We also have Justin Haley. Take a look. He's got some Cat's coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker. Can only have one a day because, as many of you know, I'm a pretty high-strung person as it is. So if I get too much coffee, I'll be shot out of a cannon. Take a look at this one. Ross Chastain. This is for upcoming races, not this weekend. It's actually going to be run at, let me take a look, Michigan, Pocono, and Chicago. So do we think that he's going to have to throw an apple off the roof instead of a watermelon if he wins the race? We'll have to ask Ross that. Maybe double, right? Watermelon and then some apples. I've never actually tried this beer. I'm a big craft beer drinker, and also will partake in a Busch Light from time to time. So maybe this apple one, let me know how it is if you've tried it. Maybe this weekend I'll crack one open. One of the cool things that we've had this year, it's like almost like old is new. Casey Mears was in the car. We saw him. Carl Edwards back at the racetrack, and Casey Kane was also back in a race car. And he's going to be at the track this weekend as well at Texas Motor Speedway. He is going to be racing Thursday and Saturday in the High Limit Series, and he's also going to be the honorary pace car driver this weekend. I have known Casey for a really long time. I love seeing him back at the racetrack, and here's a treat. We're actually going to catch up with him on Friday. He's going to join NASCAR Daily to kind of talk about getting back in the race car and what he's been doing for the last couple years. So don't miss that. All right, we'll see you Friday. Have a great Wednesday, everybody.